Hello and welcome back. Ah, it is a beautiful day today. It's one of those days where I don't feel the temperature, which means my skin is really happy. Not too hot or not too cold. Right perfect in the middle. Mm. So here we are once again. Thank you for joining me. I am so grateful to be here. If you look around just behind me, we're here at our, well, we can't really call it a new home anymore, but it's our home, and it's the latest one that we live at. Just behind me, we've got the beginning of our garden, our perennial garden, food forest. Let me just turn here. You can see all the raspberries there on that side. There's a lot of stuff in there. A lot of grass, overgrown. A lot of trees, bushes. And this was all empty, or I should say, it was completely filled up with the trees you see behind me, all the way right up to here. So that's been quite a bit of work on my part, digging up the tree stumps by hand. Which really brings me to the point of this video, and that is you're going to find that a lot of times in life, the things you want to do are not easy. The things you want out of life are not easy. We want help from other people. We wish other people were as excited as we are sometimes about the projects that we're on, so that we can ride that high, that creative high together and share the experience with someone. But oftentimes we find ourselves alone in that process, in that journey. And for me, that's been a difficult one. It's been pretty difficult because for myself, when I have someone else that's involved in something that I'm passionate about, it just adds. It makes it easier for me. So a person needs to find gratitude, find ways to be grateful instead of finding ways to feel the victim, is what I'm saying. I mean, look around. I used to live in town. Here, let me just turn this around for you. I used to live in town, and now we have a huge amount of land that we're living on. There's the dome. We got a lot of projects on the go, so you see a lot of stuff around. Right? As you can see, I'm surrounded by trees. So I can't be more in the forest. I couldn't be more in the forest. But sometimes I still find myself wishing for more. Isn't that strange? So we need to find a reason to be grateful for what you have. Because let's say you finish your projects and you find yourself showing everybody you're excited, but that feeling only lasts so long. So if a person is constantly going from one thing to the next, you can easily get into the trap of looking ahead instead of really enjoying what you have. And that's been something that I've been learning since I've been my whole life, really. My whole life I've been learning to be grateful for what I have. It seems like the way that society trains us is for that quick dopamine fix where you go from the one thing to the next to the next. And I am no different. My brain is exactly the same way. It's conditioned in those same patterns, which I'm finding a challenge a lot of times. So really it comes down to being able to discipline yourself to do the things that you need, and also enjoying what you have. A person can get lost in the discipline side of things where you are just non-stop, one thing after the other, build and build and do and make and make. And then you can find yourself on the other side where you do nothing. So it's always within balance as well. So a person needs to be careful when you talk about things like discipline, hard work, because our brains are trained to go in full tilt, and we are rewarded with our social interactions, from our social interactions with others. Just if we use the words hard work and attach it to ourselves or on that person, if we say we worked hard on something, immediately we're given praise. So we can chase that, forgetting what you have right behind you. It's so difficult, isn't it? It seems as though no matter what you're doing in your life, it seems that there's a wrong way to do it and a right way to do it. But the point of the videos that I'm making, which I'm not always clear on, is that there is no right or wrong way to do anything. A person can live by their ideals, where you say, I'm going to be a disciplined person, and then every time you find an opportunity to be disciplined, you do it. Or a person can live just the opposite, where you don't decide anything and you just go with the flow with everything. And both sides are not really, you see, if you, here's the point, let me explain this. Both sides are not really right or wrong, because if you spend too much time on one side or the other, there's a chance that you could see and feel for yourself that it's not good and it's not healthy for your body, that it's too much. If you just look in quickly, you can see and you can feel that it's a bit too much, and all you're doing is you're just chasing praise from other people, and then you find yourself in the opposite. And either one of the other, when you find yourself in one or the other, you can see that it's too much. Does that make sense? So living without ideals, instead of saying you're going to be this and you're going to be that, and then disciplining yourself to become it, or instead of just letting everything be, instead, if you look at what happens after you make a decision, and again, you'll see for yourself what's right or wrong by listening to your body, your thoughts related to what's going on. So let's say you find yourself always doing too much discipline. Well, then you notice you're always tired. You notice that you're saying no to spending time with your friends or family a bit too often, and that your friendship relationships are kind of suffering. You can see that because you're sore all the time and tired, you're starting to get injured. There's signs. Do you see? And same thing for the opposite. If you find yourself sitting all the time, there's signs. You get sores, you get weaker, you find it's harder and harder to stand up. Your fitness level goes down. You're always home. People are asking, why don't you come? So again, your friendship relationships are, do you see? So if you pay attention to the signs as you live your life, it will be a guide to either pull you to one side or the other, and you can use that in your life so that you're a little bit more balanced. not living through ideals, but through experience, and just taking things at face value for what they are, making changes in the moment, and analyzing those changes, and really not overdoing anything. Does that make sense? Probably went from one topic to the next in this video. I feel like I lost my whole whatever it is that I was talking about, so hopefully you were all able to follow along. Feel free to ask any questions, anything in the comments. So wherever you are around the world, whatever time it is that you're watching this video, thank you, thank you, thank you. Peace.